Week 11 of the fantasy basketball season, and here's a few signings I looked at off the wire this week. The first guy, Kelly Olynyk of the Utah Jazz. It seems like every season around this time, Olynyk, he breaks out and he becomes a viable fantasy option. And right now available is Olynyk in 65% of fantasy leagues on the season, 8.1 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 55% from the field. But the last couple weeks, the numbers have definitely bumped up, 11.1 points a game, 4 boards, 6.3 assists, 1.4 steals for Olynyk, and 62% from the field. So his three-point numbers definitely dropped off a little bit. Last season, he was at 1.5 threes per game, and this season, not even at 1, but he's doing other things, especially passing the basketball at a good rate. And he's a guy pretty much that could go out there and give you 10, 5, and 5 daily. Here's Kelly Olynyk. So the last few games, December 28th at the Pelicans, 6 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, a steal in that one, 60% from the field. December 30th versus the Heat, 19 points, 6 boards, 10 dimes in that one, a steal, a block, 66% from the field. And January 1st versus the Mavs, 7 points, 5 boards, 6 assists, 3 steals, a 3 in that ball game, and 100% from the field. So Olynyk, as long as he's getting playing time for this Utah Jazz team and getting opportunity, which he's playing around 20, 25 minutes per game, he's a guy that's going to help in rebounds. He's always been a decent scorer of the basketball. Just surprising to me this year, the three-point ball, like I mentioned, has gone down. A specialist is stretching the floor and hitting that three ball in his Boston Celtic days, and even last season with the Jazz. But right now, while he could give fantasy owners 3 or 4 categories, I think Olynyk is a decent ad this week. The next center is Nick Richards of the Charlotte Hornets. And Nick Richards, he's gone out there and he's made the most of his opportunity over the last few weeks. And it's surprising Richards is still out there right now in 64% of fantasy leagues. I know Mark Williams, he's been banged up over the last couple weeks with a back injury. And obviously that back injury is one of the worst things you could get, and it could be lingering for weeks or even for the season here. So Nick Richards, like I said, has gone out there and made the most of his chances. 9 points a game, 7 boards on the year, 1.2 blocks, 70% from the field. In the last couple weeks since he stepped in for Williams in the lineup, 10.2 points a game, 8.8 boards, 1.2 assists, 1.2 blocks, and 66% from the field. So right now, Richards, if you need scoring, rebounding, and a guy's going to be efficient from the field, a lot of putbacks and a lot of dunks at 70%, he definitely helped fantasy owners in a big way, and he's your traditional center in these terms. December 28th at the Lakers, 11 points, 10 boards, an assist, a steal, 2 blocks in that one, 100% from the field. December 29th at Phoenix, 6 points, 2 boards, 75% from the field. January 1st at Denver, 15 points, 8 boards, an assist, a steal in that one, a block, 58% from the field. So right now he's playing good basketball. Is Nick Richards. He's getting opportunities, and he's on a bad Hornet team anyway that they want to see what the young guys got. I know we're only 30, 35 games into the season here, but Nick Richards is getting opportunity, and he's playing well for this team. So even with Mark Williams coming back, I still think he could be a decent option for this Hornet team. Still playing 20, 25 minutes per game, and for fantasy owners in deeper leagues. Next center, I looked at it off the wire this week's Kevin Love of the Miami Heat. So Kevin Love, we know he's up there at the latter part of his career where he's done many good things. He was obviously his best seasons in Minnesota, a double-double machine and big-time scorer. But now with the Heat, is a guy to come off the bench for the most part and be a spot-up three-point shooter and still a decent rebounder. I think Love could still help fantasy owners. Available in 80% of fantasy leagues, 9.7 points a game, 6.6 boards, 2.6 assists, 1.8 threes a game, and 43% from the field. So Love, for the most part, that's going to be his numbers, anywhere from 10, 12 points per game. He still could rebound, like I mentioned, a guy only getting about 20 minutes per game off the bench, anywhere from 6, 7 rebounds per game, and he's still a solid three-point shooter. So the last few games for Love, December 28th at the Warriors, 8.7 boards, 4 assists, a 3, 40% from the field. December 30th at the Jazz, 12.6 boards, 2 assists, 2 threes, 36% from the field. And January 1st at the Clippers, 17 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, 2 blocks, a 3, 63% from the field. So Love, we know, could score the basketball still. We know could rebound. And like I said, he's hovering around that 20 minutes per game for this Miami Heat team. And he's filling in good in that role over the last season and a half since he signed with the Heat after the Cavs let him loose. So right now, if you need some three-point shooting and a big man that can rebound in deeper leagues, I like Love as an ad this week. The next guy is Larry Nance Jr. of the New Orleans Pelicans. So Larry Nance, we know he's been injury-prone throughout his career, and he just came off injury as well a couple games ago, is Larry Nance, and he's available right now in tons of fantasy leagues at 86% on the season for Nance in a small sample. I know 4.3 points a game, 4.7 boards, and 53% from the field. But right now, since he returned the last couple games, he and Nance gone out there, and he's playing about 25 minutes a game. December 28th versus the Jazz, 9 points, 7 boards, 5 steals in that one, a block of 3. 66% from the field. And December 31st versus the Lakers in a surprising blowout victory, 11 points, 10 boards, 3 assists to 3, 75% from the field. So Larry Nance, he's been a good glue guy throughout his career, stealer of the basketball. He's never been a scorer for the most part, never a three-point shooter, but he's a guy that's found efficient shooting as well as Larry Nance. And right now in an offense where you got guys like Brandon Ingram, obviously CJ McCollum, Zion Williamson, he's not going to be a vocal point of any offense to score. So he's in there doing the dirty work, more of a defensive-minded play, and that's fine. But like I said, he can help in steals, efficiency in his field goal percentage as well, and rebounding as well. So if you need that in deeper leagues, I think Nance is a decent add, and he qualifies a powered forward and center in most fantasy leagues. In the fifth and final center I looked at off the wire this week here, he's Amin Mattou with the Phoenix Suns. So Mattou, he's been getting an opportunity over the last couple weeks here for this Sun team, playing about 20-25 minutes per game, and he's putting up some decent fantasy numbers. Available right now, 96% of fantasy leagues on the season, 5.9 points a game, 3.3 rebounds, and 50% from the field. But the last couple weeks, 9.7 points, 6.3 rebounds for Mattou, and 51% from the field. So right now with Nurkic banged up, he's getting an opportunity, and he's putting up some points and making some plays here for this Phoenix Suns team that now has won 4 games in a row. December 29th versus the Hornets, 9.7 boards, an assist, a steal with 3 in that ball game, 66% from the field. December 31st versus the Magic, 6.6 boards, 42% from the field. And January 1st, a nice ball game, 14 points, 5 boards, 2 threes, an assist, a steal, and 50% from the field. So this Phoenix Suns team in the offseason, they made sure they rounded out the bench and get guys who could shoot the basketball a little bit, rebound, and be decent options in emergency. And right now, Mattou, this season, especially over the last 2-3 weeks, he's starting to get more playing time with the injuries to Nurkic, and just, you know how it is with load management and stuff, even though it's definitely dropped off a little bit this season with the new changes in place with games you got to qualify to win awards. But anyway, Mattou's going out there, playing some decent basketball, and I think in deeper leagues is a good add. So that's a few centers I looked at off the wire here for week 11 of the fantasy basketball season.